Limits of the Flesh, Chapter 4, Fantasy Fiction by Azazyel. The rest of the day after I did my dirty deed was me merely half-assing my homework. Honestly, I was considering testing my full mental manipulation abilities on those damn teachers by trying to twist their brains into thinking I didn't need to do homework or something. But unfortunately, I knew from my own powers, that although I could easily direct hormones, and other chemicals to affect emotions, but pure thought was outside the realm of possibility when it came to my biomanipulation powers. Rias needs to hurry up and get off her ass, I muttered as I knew by this morning that Sona had likely already told her counterpart that another supernatural entity was living within their territory. And I was right, as I noticed that when I left my house I was being followed seemingly by a small white cat and a very obvious black bat. Honestly, a bat flying around in the middle of the day was entirely too obvious, so I was able to register it as Rias's familiar, but for Kaniko's familiar, the cat could have just been any old stray and I wouldn't have noticed. Unfortunately, Rias made no such moves. Neither herself nor her peerage seemed to be interested in approaching me at all, though on the other hand the white-haired bishop of Sona's peerage, Momo Hanakai, the woman who initially showed me around the school, spent lunch with me on the roof of the school. "So, what kind of supernatural are you? You have a pure, almost holy feeling, but I don't feel the sickness we devils feel when we approach a holy site when I am around you," she asked after we shared some small talk. I grunted as I finished chewing my food before taking a drink. What the hell? I have a sort of holy bloodline, though I don't want to get too specific. But by holy I don't mean the kind of holy that is, smite thou who revels in the shadows, I said as I held up my hand and a gentle golden ball of light formed in my palm, bathing the devil beside me in holy light. But if an angel did the same, the low-class devil would have been in extreme pain or worse, but my holy light didn't harm her at all. If anything, it gently soothed her, like laying down on a blanket placed atop thick grass, with the sun bearing down on you from above, and a nice cool wind to keep you cool while you sunbathed. "That's so cool," Momo said as she leaned against me with her breasts pushing into my arm as she stared transfixed into the gently pulsating glow of my unicorn heritage's holy light. "Yup, just like sacred gears, my holy light doesn't really distinguish between who it touches unless I direct its intent into a certain direction," I explained as I allowed the wisp of light to fade from my hand, with Momo pouting as she pulled back from me. "So, is this your lunch break as well?" I asked, but seeing Momo's face twitch I added on. "Or you trying to avoid Sona?" Momo could only laugh nervously and look around fearfully, as though me mentioning her name would draw upon the bespectacled devil's ire and attention. "Hee. I won't say you are on the roof without permission if you won't tell Sona I was skipping paperwork, all right?" she offered, and I shrugged in response. "I don't know, it seems I have far less to worry about than you. How about you share a piece of that stuffed bun or whatever that is, in exchange for my silence?" I said, and the devil smiled as she tore off a chunk of her food and offered it to me. I could only inwardly smile as I made contact with Momo's hand when she dropped the food into my own palm, and for a brief moment, I received the female devil's full body map within my mind. I saw how their magic was permeating their entire bodies, which gave them their longevity and minor shape-shifting abilities alongside the wings that were attached to their lower backs. But I didn't morph my own body to take on those ever so minor advantages that my unicorn heritage didn't have, as I wanted to maintain my holy energies for now so that I would have less work to allow Rias or another devil to fully reincarnate me. "So I got a pretty good sense for Sona, but can you tell me about Rias Gremory, the other king/ruler of this territory? I rather not step on any toes," I said with a light tone that clearly asked whether I needed to be made aware if Rias ate babies in her spare time or something. "Rias, huh?" Momo mused as she took another bite of her bun before continuing. "Well, her peerage uses the whole occult research club excuse, which allows her to not have too many responsibilities in a school," she offered, which told me all of nothing of Rias in particular. "So, Rias is lazy?" I asked, which was basically all the info she gave me. But surprisingly, instead of defending her king's counterpart, Momo firmly nodded. "Yup, Rias is definitely a devil of sloth. She spends the vast majority of her time just holed up in her old school building watching anime, while Kiba and Kaniko actually do schoolwork here," Momo said grumpily, and I realized she probably wished she had such an easy school life. But before I could remark on her opinion of Rias, I couldn't help but shiver as a teasing voice seemingly caressed the back of our necks. Era. Is that what you think, Rias, Momo? I wonder what your king will think of you trying to poison these cuties. Thoughts of my own dear king. Both me and Momo slowly looked behind us, seeing the voluptuous form of Akino Himejima standing behind us on the edge of the roof with merely a chain-link fence separating us. I hope there's no class outside right now or you will be flashing them all, I said as I wadded up the wrapper for my food, and Akino's eyes snapped from Momo to me and her smile was entirely mischievous. Era. The new kid is worried for my chastity. How adorable. She cooed before she shrugs. But if I cared about a little bit of flashing, I wouldn't even wear this uniform, as that's all it seemingly does. Then the queen piece of Rias's peerage flew over the fence, properly giving me a great look at her black panties before she landed on our side of the fence and retracted her bat-like devil wings. So, my name is Akino Himejima. Akino said, lightly bowing to me in the standard Japanese method of greeting, and although I didn't do the whole bowing bit, I nodded and told her name in kind, and then Akino got into the nitty-gritty as she scowled at Momo. Rias and Sona made a deal, due to Jake being of supernatural descendant, that he was to approach them on his own right, Momo? Akino said with a scary smile, and Momo shivered beside me in fear as tiny sparks jolted off the hand Akino used to hold up her chin. But her words confused the hell out of me, honestly. Why can't people approach me? I mean, how would I even know to approach them in particular if I wasn't aware of this game? And I kind of like Momo as a friend at this point already. Honestly, I could tell this world definitely ran on some anime logic when Momo blushed at my words. We are already friends. Yes, I finally have a guy friend. Momo cheered with Akino almost face-palming at how Momo seemed so ecstatic, and then I was reminded how Saji hadn't been recruited to Sona's peerage yet, as it was so early in the school year. Then I wondered if I should go yoink out his sacred gear as well. But Akino rained down on the white-haired girl's party as she coughed. Yes. Anyway, I will be informing Rias to speak with your queen that you think so little of her. Akino said with her sadism coming to the fore, as she clearly was imagining Sona's usual punishments for her peerage, which consisted of magical enhanced spankings that would leave the afflicted unable to stand, let alone sit down, on the tanned cheeks.